live in your purpose. You know, Jesus could have taken up residence as the chaplain of Capernaum. And the thing about that is, had he done that, he actually would have done a whole lot of good. But we never would have heard about this Jesus, because he would not have lived into the mission for which he was sent. This week, and from this very spot, we celebrated the life of our brother John Lewis, the boy from Troy. And isn't it amazing? I don't think I've seen funeral services like this, like what we've witnessed over the last several days, except for an American president. The whole nation seemed to pause, even in the midst of a pandemic, to celebrate the life of a little country boy from a town called Troy, Alabama. Most folk have no idea where Troy, Alabama even is, and yet we were all here. And I remember going to his home as he was beginning to make his descent. As he was beginning to cross that bridge which moves from life into eternity. It would be several days later before he would finish that long walk across that bridge, but I saw him a few days before his death, and I stood there with his family, and I talked with one of his brothers, and they said he always had a sense of purpose. He always had a sense that the world was bigger than Troy, Alabama, that the world was bigger than their little farm. And when he was a teenager, he heard the voice, he said, of Martin Luther King Jr., and it awakened something inside of him, because his parents trying to keep him alive used to say to him what other black parents said to their children, and you can't be mad with them. They were just trying to keep their children alive. They explained to him the rules of segregation, the rules of Jim Crow, and they said, just stay out of the way. But something inside of him, having heard the voice of a prophet named Martin Luther King Jr., said, no, don't stay out of the way, get in the way. And if you get in the way, God will make a way out of no way. And one day he walked across a bridge in Selma and walked into history. Transformed life for countless others. Helped to win the vote. Helped to win the sanctity of the ballot, which is our voice. And the other day we gathered in this sanctuary with 3 American presidents on both sides of the aisle, saying, here lies a man who gave his life over to the purpose for which he was sent. My beloved, you don't have to be a John Lewis to have purpose. You don't have to be a congressperson to have purpose. You don't have to be on television to have purpose. You don't have to have a whole lot of folk around you in order to have purpose. You don't have to be a big shot in order to make a big difference in somebody's life in your little corner of the world. Just give yourself over to whatever it is God would have you to do